You know, there's been a lot of drama unfolding on YouTube with the FTC and the COPA. It's kind of hard for us as content creators to make sure that our videos doesn't fall in the wrong category or that child appealing audience. Just to make sure that basically this video is it's geared towards an adult audience, I'm going to be talking about sex, and I'll throw in some vulgar words just to show that my target audience is the adult viewers. So in this video, it's all about sex. We're going to be talking about breeding and pairing up snakes. Oh, and that vulgar word, bitch.
Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Game ain't limitless, game ain't limitless. On my way to the top, on my way to the top. I love this money, I love this money. Just set it on fire, set it on fire. Don't mean nothing, don't mean nothing. Here's one for the night, here's one for the night. Don't waste my time, don't waste my time.
Hey YouTube, Ron here with BBM Reptiles. Thank you again for taking the time to actually stop by my channel. And if you are new to this channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and join me in what I call this incredible hobby of reptile keeping, specifically with ball pythons. Well, we're in the holiday seasons, and basically besides having that leftover turkey, we're also in that season that basically you're gonna have so many new family members basically falling into your environment, and they're gonna ask you that incredible question that we hear so many times: why do you keep ball pythons? And it gave me to the point that I actually figured out this would be a best time to approach those people that or family members that now that are making that connection with me, to explain why I'm doing this. And I actually want to give justice to those fellow YouTubers, breeders, collectionists, to basically explain why we actually do this. Ball python keeping is a personal hobby of mine that I found so much joy out of, that it doesn't basically come down to having a ball python or regular snake. It's a little bit more than that. And besides the community, the expos, the friendships that I've actually acquired through all this, breeding is the best part of it also. And right now we're in the beginning of, actually we're starting the first week of December, and now is like basically when everything is basically starting to fall into place. And I get that question very times: how do we actually do this, and why we do this? I don't know if you noticed behind me, but in most of my tubs, I actually have a lot of stickers and a lot of basically stamps on them. And the reason behind that is basically what I'm trying to do is I'm actually measuring the weight of the ball pythons during the first 3 months up until breeding season starts. And I am already starting putting my famous stickers on some of the tubs that I have some locks. And I also basically numerate the specific female that is going to go with the male that I want to actually use on a specific season. Now the good thing is about using males is you can have a single male and breed them up to 5 up to 7 females. Me, myself, personally, I like to limit myself to 5 females, so that way I don't have a abundancy of the same mutation, even though it's in different combinations. But there's specific reasons of basically doing the way that I do it, because it's the way I actually choose how to do it. And one of those questions that I actually get from so many family members is, how many snakes do you actually have? When I go into the numbers and I explain to them how many I have, it's always a freak out, basically just trying to imagine or visualize that amount of snakes in my house. But when they actually came over, for example, for Thanksgiving dinner and the following festivities that actually falls after that, I like to actually give them a tour of my snake areas and my snake rooms, so they can actually see when I'm talking about X amount of numbers, it's not basically out of control. It's not in an environment that basically they're easy to escape, or it's not the cleanest environment. I mean, like heck, I've actually had people walk out of here so impressed by the basically how I have each of my ball pythons categorized. and the way they're set up. And this is nothing. Basically, this is nothing because where I actually live, I don't have the benefits of actually having the Freedom Breeder racks or the Visions, because shipping it to Puerto Rico is real hard. And the only way I can actually get that is if I can actually ship it over by boat. Now, eventually, because those are my goals, those are my long-term goals, is I will invest in those racks, and I will basically just get a moving company and have them just ship it here to Puerto Rico. But these are things that I actually plan to build up upon being able to do. But before I do anything, I got to make sure at least my collection's on pair, and from there I can actually get the fundings that I would need to go into that steps. But going a little bit ahead of myself, I wanted to actually explain about how is it that we do and what time of the seasons we actually start our breedings. Now, this is the first week of December, December 1st, and this is basically the peak of the start of my personal season. I like to actually prepare my females from October. And what I usually like to do is I like to actually cool the room that first month of October. And then when November starts hitting, I like to actually do play dates. I'll take a male and I'll put him with a female for 1 or 2 nights, knowing basically nothing's gonna happen, but it's like one of those meet and greets that eventually they know that during the months, they're the ones that are gonna be hooking up with. And it's always important to have backup females, because maybe they don't get off or they don't hit it off on that first dance, but eventually the shyness will unbreak, and they'll start get used to each other, and copulation will eventually happen if everything is set up on cue. Now, there's some tricks that I personally like to do. I've talked about it before. My famous zip locks of male sheddings. Every time I have a male shed, I hold on to a shed and I'll basically put it aside for when I actually have a first-time male breeder and I want to actually try to stimulate that copulations within the male, make them a little bit more aggressive, knowing that there's another guy scoping that girl, that cute girl in the bar. If he doesn't make a move, he will. So, you know, I've actually learned that, you know, in my days. The other thing is basically I like to mist the females or mist the tub just before I introduce the males. This is a little YouTube trick, believe it or not. This is the benefit of actually going through YouTube channels and seeing so many different breeders giving their best advice of things to do, because these are things that actually you can use yourself and see if it actually works for you, because we're in each different time zones or in different climates or in different areas, that not everything will work. But it's good basically to try to take 1 or 2 different advice from someone else just to see if you can actually incorporate it in what you try to do. The same thing I say basically with color coding my tubs for the weights, and obviously the stickers that I use to actually jot down specific dates when I see copulations and when I even see ovulations. We haven't got that far, but snake copulations, that's one definite thing that I'm already starting to see. And it's also real good basically having a notebook and jot down every single little thing. It could be the smallest details, but you won't believe how actually things like this will work out at the end when you're going through your notes a few years down. Now, just in a nutshell, basically, not too many people get the chance to see this because the tubs that they have, they're kind of darkened out, so they get to miss it. But one thing that I love to see, and it's real funny, is when I see when the female, she gets all excited when there's a new male introduced into her environment or in her tub. And that just basically, it excites me, because that's when I know that basically the female is already ready to go, and she's starting basically letting that male know, listen, I'm interested. You don't have to keep paying me the drinks. And that's something that I call tail wagging. And the funny thing is that I actually put a video on that on Facebook and on Instagram. And one of the guys made a real funny comment about that. I'm not going to repeat it. I mean, like heck, it's not a child-oriented channel and stuff like that. But he just basically, he just called that snake a slut. And it was so funny because the way she was wagging her tail, basically slapping the male in the face and actually scenting her whole tub. It's exciting to see that, because you know that female, she's more than game to actually start copulating or interacting with that male. And that's a good sign, because it's something that I look forward to, knowing that during the season there's a real good chance that I will be getting eggs from that female. But that's why it's also good to have a backup male. It's always good to have a backup male, because just in case that guy is shy, and we know those type of guys. I mean, like those shy guys, shy guys will, sit on the side, and even when you're throwing them the biggest hints, they still don't get it. You're gonna get a male like that also. That's why it's also good to have a backup male just in case. But at least one of my most important males that I have this season, he actually broke the ice with that specific female that was wagging her tail. So I did get a lock out of that one, which is good, because that means it'll take a few more, I'd say a few more weeks, but he should start picking up the ball with the other ladies also. Guys, you know what? It's really incredible actually when you think about it. When you're going into breeding ball pythons and everything that you can actually produce, it's that joy that you have, that you created something. You actually started from the very beginning. I mean, like it's hard for me sometimes, because I sometimes reminisce, because I think about my previous channel and I had such great content on that, and I'm going back on it. Well, I'm starting all over again, but the way I was so excited about each of my egg cuttings and the pairings, and basically when I started getting those clutches dropping the first times, I was ecstatic. You're gonna see that again, because basically I'll even be more ecstatic, because I got more incredible hatchlings that I hopefully will be able to produce this season. But that feeling, it's that one-of-a-kind feeling that you have to actually experience it to feel it and to know what it is. And if you're starting off for the very first time, and even if you have a normal or a spider, don't frown upon the fact that you see other people cutting incredible clutches and you feel left behind. Remember, it took them years to actually get that far. And me myself, like I said, I'm working with an 8-year project with a specific gene, and it's gonna take a long climb, and it's gonna take a long work. But I said this so many times before, it's so therapeutical. It's so therapeutical because basically it gives you something to look forward to. And not to beat a dead horse, but I've actually said this before, that's something that you need. That's something that you really do need. To have something to look forward to set some goals. And when you work with ball pythons and you have these incredible projects that you see others do, it gives you goals. It gives you actually a reason to actually strive for and work even harder, no matter the time it takes, because the results, when you actually make it yourself, is so incredible. It makes up for everything that could be going on in your life. I mean, like, you could be going through the shittiest day, and I'm sorry I'm saying that. You can have the shittiest day, but basically when you go home, and this is my personal feeling, when I come home and I basically not lock myself, but I'm actually in my snake room, and I'm going through all my projects, and I actually love to jot down what I'm working with. And when I'm even cleaning the tubs, I'm seeing future potentials. I'm actually looking at that baby that I actually produced 2-3 years ago, and just actually trying to figure out what I want to do with her, and the imagination of what I can actually do. Those are incredible goals that you can actually work with, and it makes you feel so good. And I mean, like, I've said this 1,000 times before, and I just experienced just this last few months when I went to my very first expo, meeting up with so many people, like-minded people that actually share the same passion. And then you can go on and start talking about projects and everything, and seeing how friendly and how inviting they are to have a conversation to you about what we share. That's an unexpected bonus that many people don't actually get because they haven't crossed that line. So this season, this Christmas season or this new year, now that I'm getting so many people and so many family members actually stopping by and I'm going to different activities, I'm always getting that same question, why you're doing it? And wow, why I'm even doing this channel, why I'm doing this channel and why I'm doing ball pythons, it's because you guys, you have no idea everything I've gotten back. It's a lifesaver. It really is a lifesaver. And it's all good fun. It's all good fun that actually we can all use. We can all use these positive vibes, these positive emotions, these satisfactions of actually completing and doing something that you started with. That's more of a reason. And when you're producing beautiful things that people are basically jaw-dropping just seeing what you actually made is another reason out of everything why we keep doing this. And I'm gonna keep doing this for a long time. And there's so many motivations to doing it. There's so many motivating reasons why I want to do my YouTube channel. There's so many motivating reasons why I want to continue breeding ball python. And definitely there's always that motivating reason why I want to continue to go to expos, meeting people like you, like-minded people that enjoy this hobby, creating incredible ball pythons. And I want to be that builder. I want to be that builder, that construction worker that's actually building and making the foundation and building up that skeleton of that beautiful tower of a basically mind-boggling innovation that no one actually expected the end result to be. And I want to be part of that. And that's what this is all about. Anyway, that's another thing that us ball python people or reptile hobbyists do. We love to talk on. I mean, like, it's really hard to actually end us with a topic or end us with a subject. But today I'm gonna try to cut it at this point because I don't want to make this another hour-long video. But guys, especially those new friends that I've connected with in through Facebook and family members that actually discovered that I actually do have this channel, this is all good fun. This is all good fun, and I've met incredible people and I've had incredible experience. And I can say very few about other hobbies that has that much of a benefit. So if you ask me why, I hope you do stick around long enough and just follow me along to see the incredible things that I hope to experience. And even though I'm not selling you on the idea of why this is a great hobby, you'll get the feeling and you understand why it is. Well, anyway, again, thank you again, guys, for taking the time and stopping by with me while I talk about about this incredible hobby. Again, if you're new to the channel, if you can, just to subscribe and hit the like button. Also, hit that bell. I don't even know if it actually works, but you know, heck, I hear that a lot with other YouTube creators. But guys, it's all good fun. So until the next time, I'll see you in the next video.